Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Apurímac in Peru. Now, geography might go a little fast because Apurímac is not a very large area of Peru, and it's located right in the heart of the Andes mountain range. It's pretty much the entirety of the area. I think like 100% of it is mountains. Not the highest peaks of the Andes, but very high nonetheless. So there are lots of gorgeous river valleys cutting through these mountains, creating absolutely gorgeous scenery, of course. But that's all that I have for geography because that's about it. The history here is also a little iffy. There's actually a lot of facts about it that are just unknown. Unknown when certain towns were established. Unknown when certain events happened. I even found some contradictions that I found that some sources said Abanque here is the capital. Some said Andahuaylas over here is the capital. Most sources said Abanque, including this map. But interesting that I found a couple travel websites that said that this was the capital. I think it's more like Andahuaylas is the cultural capital. Andahuaylas is the cultural capital, and Abanque is like the political capital. But speaking of culture, this area has been home to very interesting cultures for a long time, probably for as long as Peru's been inhabited. But the main dominant ethnic group in its early history were the Chancas. And the Chancas built many cities along the mountainsides here. They're all archaeological sites. Now we'll take a look at a few of them. All kind of mostly from what I can tell in like this area up here. And their enemies were naturally the Inca. Cusco's just a hop, skip, and a jump over here. So there's Cusco, which was the capital of the Inca Empire. Machu Picchu is not too far off too. But anyway, that's right there. Machu Picchu. The Incas were their enemy, and the Chancas were very warlike and very aggressive and tried to invade Cusco even. And the Incas fought with them for quite a while until they were finally defeated by Pachacutec and taken over by the Inca. I also found an interesting fact that I couldn't really verify a lot of details about, that obviously the Battle of Abanque happened in this area, but the details around it were fuzzy. So from what I can tell, Francisco Pizarro, the guy who took down the Incas, had a team with him, mostly his brothers, but other conquistadores as well. He had sent one named Diego de Almagro down to Cusco to conquer it, and he did. He brought some Pizarro brothers with him too. And de Almagro was like, I'm good here. Like, I don't want to give it to anybody. This is my land now. I took it. Pizarro's like, you can't do that. You have allegiance to Spain. So he came down. The Pizarro brothers held hostage. I think one of them even died during this disagreement. And from what I can tell, de Almagro fled. They wound up meeting here and fighting it out. Pizarro won out. Drama. And the conquistadors' alliances. But I can imagine you show up to Cusco, you see the streets paved with gold, basically. Be like, actually, I want this. course, with the Inca people suffering in between. This region is still very populated by indigenous Peruvians who speak Quechua, and many interesting traditions and cultures are still around today. Because not much happened up here in terms of colonization and conquering. It's just a little corner of Peru. We do know that Abanque was declared a city in 1874, but there's an interesting legend about how this town was established, because the original town was, I think, lower down in a valley. And in their church, because of course they're Catholic, they have a Virgin Mary statue by their altar. It disappeared one day. And when they went searching for the thieves, they found it up high in a mountain valley. They're like, how did that happen? So they brought it back down. It disappears again. They find it in the same spot. They bring it back. It disappears again. Same spot. So they build a chapel there, because obviously that's where the statue wants to be. And then the town just eventually grew around the chapel until the modern city is now located where it is because of that. I think that's a neat story. But nowadays, Apurímac draws in a lot of tourism. Lots of whitewater rafting down the beautiful valleys, lots of cool hikes, lots of archaeological sites to see. They even have a tourist week festival. Tell me one other place in the world that has a tourist week that celebrates the tourists. Tell me one other place, because I've never heard of that. How interesting is that? And from what I can tell, I tried to dig around, find some other cool stuff, but that's about all of the details I could find about Apurímac. But there is so much to show you on Google Earth. I'm like itching to show you. Even my neighbor stomping around upstairs is excited to see. So let's switch to the tablet while he's stomping and go check it out. Alright, here is Apurímac. Kind of hard to see outlined in all the mountains there, but you can see what I mean when it's right in the heart of the Andes here. Lots and lots and lots of mountains. The whole area is mountains. But let's zoom out so you can see exactly where we are if you're not sure where we are in the world. So here's Peru on the Pacific coast of South America. You can see Lima, the capital's right there. And yes, this is South America. So there's North America, Central America, South America. There's Peru. Apurímac. I don't want to show you the slideshow because I'm going to spoil the surprise. There's something very cool that I'm going to save to the end to show you. And what's amazing about this state is that you can go anywhere on this map and find incredible, incredible photos. But I want to start up here near Abanque. You can see it's right here, nestled in the mountains. And I want to show you some archaeological sites. Look at all of them. Also, look at let me put it on 3D for a second. Look at these mountain peaks. The Andes is just something else. They're so beautiful, but I don't want to get lost. Let's look at Huancarama. That sounds fun. Huancarama. Look at that. That is so surreal. How is that even real? That is so beautiful. That was the only picture there, though. So let's see this. Carcatera. Oh my gosh. One wrong move and you're gone. Amazing. Look at that. Oh, that's crazy. Well, I wanted to show you archaeological sites. This is not it, but it's still very beautiful, isn't it? Like I said, every slideshow in this region of Peru, even if they don't load, is absolutely gorgeous. I guess that's túneles, right? That's tunnel. Let's look here. Look at this. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. Oh, that's like a haunted wood. Very cool. I promised you archaeological sites. Let's see. This one? Oh, that looks natural, doesn't it? All of these slideshows are gorgeous. This might look promising. Oh, big mound here. I see. But nevertheless, I'll show you an actual one. Let me put it back in 2D though, so it'd be easier to find. Oh no. Am I lost? Did I lose myself? What's this? Oh no. Am I in Machu Picchu? Am I out of the state? We can't go too far. Let me pull it back up. Make sure I am in Apurímac. Oh, okay. I almost went out the state. Whew, I was about to say. If we got to look at Machu Picchu, that'd be a dream. Alright, I wandered too far away. That's probably why I couldn't find what I was looking for. Over here. And we're gonna look here in the peaks. This way. And I'm gonna see Sondar. Found it. I was going the wrong direction. Putting the 3D threw me off. So this was a major chunk of city. You can see their terraced farming there. And, or maybe that's a temple. Maybe it was both. I'm not sure. But lots and lots of interesting structures in these regions from this ancient people. Look at little cobblestone wall they've built. Lots of cool terraces. Look at this wall. Like you would see this in like the English countryside, right? 1 second. My PC, if you don't have it just right, has been making the strangest noises. Okay. I don't want loud noises while I'm filming. Oh, with the mist. Look at this structure here. So interesting. And look at the people here in native dress. I wish I could zoom in, but it won't let me anymore. But isn't that fascinating? All those stones, the little llama. And I wonder if it's like, you know, the Tiwanaku and obviously the Inca, where they didn't have any kind of mortar in between the stones. They were all cut just so that they'd all fit together, so that they would stay in this perfect shape. Just an absolute archaeological feat. Look at this beautiful valley. Very, very pretty little llama there. Ah, cute. Bring the kids. But yeah, there's various little sites. I promise you, here's another one. Kuramba. Look at this site. That is probably some kind of ceremony site or temple or something. There's the view. Is that not incredible? I mean, granted, there are more, like, bigger, more interesting archaeological sites in Peru. But I think these little lesser known ones are just as interesting and important. I wonder if it's so diminished because of how warlike they were and how hard the Incas came down on them. And, like, how much did the Incas destroy? How much did the Spanish ruin, you know? I wonder. Tail there. So there's lots and lots to show you around this area. What else can we show you? Here's the lake. Oh, this is the town near the lake. Let's see. Let's find one more. A chanchi. Wow. It's a big mound. Look at all the shrubs here. Oh, very mysterious. Oh, look at that. There's so many little sites to explore here. Very, very cool. Let's see. Soktok Mache. I remember looking at this and being like, I do not know how to pronounce that. If that's Quechua, that's a Quechua word I've never seen, but it's a scary cave. Here's this beautiful rocky river down this lush forest path. And There's the sign pointing toward it. Cross the little bridge. Go through this kind of haunted looking wood. And find all kinds of things. Little caves. Oh, that's spooky. See, this kind of reminds me of like India. This region reminds me of a lot of places. It's so pretty. This guy's interested, even though his face doesn't show it. He's having fun. That's his having fun face. But yeah, lots of cool sights to see in this region. But I'm going to cut to the chase and show you the one I'm the most excited to tell you about. I gotta zoom out so I can find it without getting lost. I'm already lost. These mountains are throwing me off. Apurímac, please. Yes. Put the outline back on, please, so I don't get lost in the mountains. Thank you. Alright. We're gonna head down here. We're gonna head over here to this town called Pampachiri. Now what I want to show you is actually located over here, but the pictures here, there's only like 2 pictures here. Most of them are in this slideshow for the town. Please go. Thank you. Look at these. What in the world, right? So these are called the Smurf houses, which is their actual nickname. They have a name in Quechua. Oh, that's interesting. But they're called the Smurf houses. So what happened was that after years of erosion, of wind and rain, these very natural hoodoos grew out of the mountainside. And very, very long ago, old ranchers, farmers, what have you, dug little holes inside and made little caves in them to shelter in when the weather was bad. I assume they brought in their llamas and things. And eventually people started living in them. And the Smurf houses were born. Now, isn't this incredible? Look at these. That looks fake. That looks so crazy. Apparently, the locals living in this area, if there's enough tourists around, will dress up as Smurfs and walk around. Look at them poking their heads out. Because this area is just so tourist friendly. They're just so excited to see tourists. Look at this. This looks man-made. It looks fake. Look how incredible this valley is. So yeah, is this not the most interesting little houses you've ever seen in your life? How is this a real thing? You can see how they've dug around the rocks and made like supporting walls. So incredible. Even this cow thinks so. And amazing, amazing cacti, including this one that only blooms after 100 years of growing. This is an interesting plant here. In the snow, like, what is this place? It's so fascinating. I'm in love with it, I know. I've always had Machu Picchu on my bucket list. I think I have to add Pampachiri. So why don't we look at one more random slideshow? I think Alcampa sounds interesting. Well, I end this video because, again, highly encourage you to explore on your own and see these amazing, amazing slideshows because there's far too many. I want to find some mountains before we go. La Montaña, that's promising. Oh, darn. How about Kiuka? So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. Next, we're going to be going to an entirely different landscape. If you've seen the film Lawrence of Arabia, you know where we're heading, because they only said it about 1,000 times in the movie. But we're going to be heading to Jordan. So be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out. I hope that you found this video relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good night. Good night.